You ever heard of SilvaGunner? What? You haven't heard of him? Well, let me give you a brief introduction to the channel. They're basically a team of musical artists who all work on the same YouTube channel where they post very high quality rips of video game music. And the quality is so good that sometimes in these songs you hear other songs. Now, some famous pieces of music from the SilvaGunner channel include the aesthetic-themed PAL version from Super Mario World or Dire Dire Doc's OST version from Super Mario 64. They're not only using Nintendo game music, but it's a majority of the music they use. Now, at some point, the SilvaGunner channel was notorious for latching on to some now irrelevant memes, such as the Harlem Shake, the Nutshak's theme song, it's the Nutshak, or Snow Halation. Yeah, I'm aware that you wouldn't normally see these songs in a SilvaGunner video nowadays, but there was a time where you would fear hearing the Flintstones theme song in pretty much every video. Now, I could make an entire video dedicated to covering the history of the SilvaGunner channel, or trying to introduce it, but other creators have already made that type of content, and I would recommend you checking them out if you're interested. Instead, I will be taking a closer look at KFAD, which were tournaments that were held on the SilvaGunner channel in 2018 and 2019. Before I start ranting about these tournaments, I'd just like to make it clear that this video is going to serve as an introduction. I'm going to give a bit of detail, not too much, just to get you interested so that you, the viewer, then go to explore and find out things about this tournament for yourself. This isn't me trying to shove my music taste down your throat either, because if that was the case, I would have done it a different way. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the first tournament, King for a Day, which was held in summer of 2018. Now, the King for a Day tournament was a bracket-style tournament featuring 16 different fighters. These characters could range from popular musical artists, real-life celebrities, most of them were characters from pop culture, memes, and Ajit Pai. Now that you know about the roster and you're interested, I can quickly go over what happened in the first tournament. Now, in case you didn't gather from all the previous information, this is a musical tournament. The reason why every character is so different is because they each have a different source list. Now, artists can sample, remix, or whatever they want with tracks from these source lists, and once they've done that, they can post it to the SilvaGunner channel where the audience votes for whoever has the better tracks, and whoever gets the most votes goes on to the next round. Now, some characters have produced a lot of high-quality rips, such as Unregistered Hypercam 2, who won the whole tournament. Yippee! To my dismay, because I mained Will Smith, who was beat by the cam in round 1. And if you heard the word main and you immediately thought of Super Smash Bros., that's because this tournament is something of a tribute to Super Smash Bros. Because, you know, you can see the stock icons, the invitations, there's a lot of references. I think that's good. While music is the main focus of the tournament, this is still something that has a lot of effort put into it. First of all the renders of the characters, the stock icons. There's also this funny detail I like with just the lines of every character when they meet and beat other characters. They just have this weird shit talking, and it has a lot less restraint in the first tournament than the second one, and I just love that. Another funny detail I want to point out is the fact that Ajit Pai is the only character to canonically die in this tournament. Because he lost to Thanos in round 1, he was snapped out of existence. And I'm not saying it was deserved, but I'm not saying it was undeserved either, because, you know, wanting to take net neutrality and all that shit. But, hey, it is what it is. But wait, you may ask, how does he come back to the second tournament then? Because, you know, if he's a pile of dust, how is he supposed to fight all the other contestants? Well, I'll answer that right away, you impatient little piece of shit. Welcome to the hardest fucking internet tournament there ever fucking was! We got music, celebrities, irrelevant memes, and even anime characters! Johnny Bravo, get him in. Daft Punk featuring Pharrell, why not? Weird Al with a stand that looks like Michael Jackson, of fucking course! Dr. Piccolo, wouldn't be a real party without him. How about motherfucking Eminem? That's right, Eminem is in this fucking tournament. Join me as we take a look at this absolute beauty of this tournament and find out who became kings for another day. King for Another Day is the sequel to the widely successful King for a Day tournament. And this time, the roster is twice as big. You've also got a loser's bracket, meaning that if your character loses, they have a second chance to redeem themselves and maybe become king for another day. In addition to this, you've got a Mojo website where you can see interviews with the characters, presented by Meowth and the winner of last year's tournament, Unregistered Hypercam 2. All the veterans have also made a return except for Edeka, understandably, as he sadly passed away between the two tournaments. There still was a tribute to him in the form of a Lifelight rip, but yeah, rest in peace, Edeka. The other veterans, though, have been either shuffled around, redesigned, gained some new abilities, but yeah, overall, there's a lot more variety to the cast now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. Please welcome with open arms, Metal Ajit Pai. That's right, After being killed off by Thanos in the first tournament, Ajit Pai, this sentient pile of dust, has now been sponsored by Reese's Puffs and given a mech to control to obliterate anyone that stands in his path. This former chairman of the FCC has the power of the Harlem Shake and any mech-related rips, and will do whatever it takes to become king for another day. The tournament now has some new musical artists, video game characters, cartoon characters, a whole ass funny Australian mixer, etc. Now, another rule that was also implemented in this tournament was no Undertale. And characters who could technically have Undertale in their source list, such as Quote from Cave Story, who could have music from indie games, was not allowed to use Undertale because, I don't know, it could be too overpowered. Now, just by looking at all the new contestants and looking at the past videos on my channel, you could probably guess who I mained. That's right, Law and Disorder was my favorite character because, well, it's a mix of everything I love. However, the fact that I had such an easy time choosing a main meant that a lot of characters were slept on by me. And so a few weeks ago, I took it upon myself to listen to a lot of these rips from the tournament to then figure out, well, if there was another character I like, and surely enough, there were. I'd like to make honorable mentions to Missing No and Daft Punk featuring Pharrell for being just two underrated choices in my book. This time around, the winner was DJ Professor K from Jet Set Radio, who got eliminated round 1 in the previous tournament. So it was nice to see him get a redemption, I guess, although he did beat my main, which made me salty. But then I looked at the Mojo website, and now I wish that DJ Professor K was a real person. This tournament was truly a celebration of the internet. I mean, characters were chosen by the backroom directors of the SilvaGunner channel, the art team, some fan mail, you name it, bro. Every character brought something new to the table. Everyone could easily choose a main because there was so much variety. I mean, where have you seen a fight take place between Maria Takeuchi against Jack Black and Elmo? That's right, nowhere, at least I hope. But yeah, that's the thing, there's so much going on that everything is just so unrealistic, yet it works so well because of the talented musical artists and just the writers, the artists, whatever, just everyone working on this project is giving it their all, and you can really see it through this tournament. Now, yeah, I may be underselling it, I may be advertising it horribly, but I would just really recommend you to go check them out. You can really see that this was a passion project that so many people worked so hard on, and it really is underappreciated. So after you're done with this video, just go check them out, check the links in the description, listen to some of the rips, you'll find something you eventually like. Also, if you want to main an IRL celebrity, just remember that most of the time they don't really do well in these tournaments because, you know, clout in real life does not mean you get clout on the SilvaGunner channel, but hey, at least you're ballsy, I guess. That sums up everything I have to say about this tournament. Just go listen to the rips. There are 800, I'm pretty sure I'll find something to your likings. Yeah, just have fun with it, you know? And as a staple of this YouTube channel, I have got to present my opinions in some way. So right now, I'm gonna rank my top 3 favorite tracks from King for Another Day. But first, honorable mentions. All these tracks here are tracks that I did not put on my top 3 list because there are only 3 spots and there are so many other tracks that I didn't even put here, but yeah, these are some of them. Number 3 on the list is Since I'm Australian. Now, this might seem weird considering, you know, I'm not Australian. However, this song is just perfect. You listen to it, you really do feel like you're Australian. It's a medley of a lot of Australian tracks such as Since I Left You by the Avalanches, Somebody That I Used to Know by Got Ye, Untouched by the Veronicas, etc. All of it is backed with this beach ambiance which just leaves you at peace while listening to this song. So yeah, that's basically all there is for Since I'm Australian. It really is a fantastic song and I would not expect it to be this good considering, you know, it's from Hobart, who placed last in the tournament. Next up we have Classic Zone Remix from Dr. Robotnik and the Rhythm Masters. Now this is a medley of all of the Sonic zones from Sonics 1, 2, and 3 in a remix style from the Riven Heaven series. Now, one thing I love about this track is the fact, well, you know, it has a Sonic soundtrack, it's got all the iconic zones from the first 3 games, and it also manages to be cohesive despite the fact that all the zones' soundtracks are very different in their own way. So, props to you for that, I guess. Now, while the song could start off and end with the most iconic song from the Sonic series, which is Green Hill Zone, it doesn't. It starts off with Emerald Hill Zone, which is by far the superior zone. So yeah, that's just the cherry on top of this hedgehog stew. And at number 1, we have these 3 tracks from Law and Disorder. Now, yeah, it's a 308 tie, it's boring, it's anticlimactic, say whatever you want. But because I'm so biased and these are so well made, I can't really choose between them to have a favorite. Now, Solving Groove is just fantastic because it's a mix of Box 15 and Ikarosha, which are just two incredible tracks from the Danganronpa series. Mr. Monokuma's Swing Lesson is a track that I didn't know could work so well, as it mixes Mr. Monokuma's lesson from Danganronpa and Cross-Examination Allegro 2001 from the Ace Attorney series. And while yes, they do clash with each other for most of the song, in the end they synergize so well, and you can't help but just admire how well they stick together, making them out to be some powerhouse contestants which could easily win the tournament, which didn't happen in the end. And then we've got Discussion Mixed Tournament version, which is probably the definitive Law and Disorder rip. Now, this is a song which uses, for most of it anyway, Discussion Break from the Danganronpa series. It serves as a recap of Law and Disorder's history throughout the tournament, as there are sections based on the previous fighters they have defeated, such as Papyrus, Zune, Weird Al, the Jazz Cats, but then it ends up against DJ Professor K in this very climactic battle, which uses some of Hideki Naganuma's best tracks such as Humming the Bassline or Wrapped in Black, against Masafumi Takada's Let's Start the Killing Game or some snippets of Mr. Monokuma's lesson. And it is just one of the most intense tracks that you could probably ask for, and it serves as a great introduction to the winner's final. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about these tracks. They're all fantastic in their own right. You should just all go listen to them. There are 800, as I've said before. You'll probably find something that you like. And yeah, that was the introduction to KFAD. So after this, content might slow down for a bit because, you know, summer vacation, I might not be able to record videos at the same time, but I'll try to, you know, put out some content even though it might be lower quality or it might come out slower, but yeah, I'll find a workaround. Alright, like, subscribe, and goodbye.